Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 1, Episode 3, Take 1 of Confessions of an Average Golfer by the Lazy Lobbers. I'm SJ.
I'm OP.
I'm SL.
And we are Lazy Lobbers.
We're back
Third
again.
time lucky, guys.
Can't believe we've already made it to Episode 3. It literally comes around so quick.
Sure
It's
goes
officially
on.
a habit now.
Mhm.
Once is novelty. Twice you're like, oh, still going. Third time, habit.
Yeah. Atomic
How are your
Habits.
week?
James Clear.
Atomic Habits by James Clear. Made a serious charge on it as part of my New Year's resolution.
Good.
And I'm probably 80% of the way through.
SL, you'd
But-
like that, I think.
No,
Seemingly-
I can't read.
Seemingly... Can't build a habit of sinking repeated putts on the perfect practice putting mat.
You really
But-
can't. One, honestly, when I was on FaceTime watching that, I've never laughed so much in my life.
Were you on FaceTime? I didn't know you were on
I
FaceTime.
had to be the judge because otherwise, that would not have made the final cut.
I would. Golf's built on honesty. It would have made it, but it was totally heartbreaking. And look, frankly, I'd had a fairly average week, and that was the last thing I needed. Just finish work, get on the one putt, miss.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Ollie didn't even try and not laugh. He just
I-
cackled at me.
Alice's laugh in the background was also a witch's cackle, which wasn't on the video, which we might be able to release sometime.
The thing is, I really wanted to do well in that competition, but such is the life of a lazy lobber. You can't let that thing get to you because otherwise you will be forever pissed off on the golf course. So I was like, oh look, I've had a one putt, slight moment, but then is it any different getting to the 16th on Marbella Club golf course with Ollie Petrides in a gross stroke play competition and then shanking 5 off the tee and getting a 10 on a par 3? It's no different.
It's no different, is it?
How
I
to
mean-
bounce back from adverse times.
But
by
when
the
you
Lazy
say
Lobbers.
you can't let it get to you, didn't you keep going that evening and you made 20 from 7 foot?
Yes, I did. Actually, I genuinely, this is the God's honest truth. I've got a little blister on my finger where I did so many 7 foot putts last night because I
Isn't
was
it-
just that unhappy with myself.
Isn't that your blister from when you tried to re-grip the club and you got a blister from the friction?
That's gone, but only just, whatever that is, 4 weeks later. So what I would say to everyone is if you're going to re-grip your own 7 heavenwood, then once you've taken the old grip off, there will be some grip tape underneath it. Do not just try and rub that off with your bare thumb repeatedly as hard as you can, because all of a sudden you will create a blister on your thumb. It kind of happened instantly. I was like, rub, 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 next rub. And I just felt like the top layer of skin just go, and all of a sudden I had this huge blister on my thumb, and it's only just gone about 4 weeks later.
I'm due to do that. I've got about 7 grips in the garage. I've got double sticky sided tape from OP and white spirit in a Highland Springs bottle, which is probably quite dangerous.
So Sammy, the thing they don't want you to know on the re-gripping scene is that it is actually okay to use the white spirit to take the grip tape that's already on there off. So all the videos that I've seen say, take the old grip off, don't use the grip tape, don't use the white spirit to take the old grip tape off, like just either scratch it off or heat it off, go melt it off with a kind of heat gun. And the white spirit is to allow you to slip the new grip on. I actually found that on my second attempt, that didn't make any difference. You just got to make sure you dry the shaft underneath quite properly once you've got the white spirit on.
The thing I'm so nervous about is actually these are my irons. So it's not even one club. And I feel like such an amateur. Yeah. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it with my other 56 wedge because that's just got the standard grip on. And I'm just going to forfeit my 4-iron, one of the nice grips.
So whilst you're talking about this, I meant to say to you, great Instagram account to follow for everyone is I'm going to get the name wrong now, but Trolley Golf.
Oh.
He's the guy that works on the TaylorMade tour van.
Yes.
Is it Trolley Golf?
Do we speak about this? Do we speak about this as a group or?
I
I
think
don't
so.
think so. Are you talking about his little re-gripping video?
Oh,
You
no,
see
I'm
it?
just talking about him in general. Like, he's just amazing. But the
He is.
insight is unreal.
So I guess the backstory in the videos, we're going to need to kind of release them, but we tried to regrip our own clubs. It is doable, but not as quite as straightforward as perhaps it looks. This guy, Trolley Golf, he's got this ridiculous machine in the tour van that is kind of like, if you imagine a metal tube, but then it's got kind of water spouting out the end of it. So he kind of like puts his foot on a pump, the water shoots out, and he just kind of slides the grip straight onto the club. That's not a very good description, but I'll try and find the video. It basically takes him 0.1 seconds.
The difference between like trying to find you make your own vice grip on your workbench in your garage and just sort of trying to sort of spray it with white spirit is a bit of a different story, isn't it? I mean, that probably summarizes Lazy Lobber golf, doesn't it?
The thing I'm really concerned about is not actually getting it on and off. I didn't think that would be much of a challenge. But it's the the alignment, like making sure it's straight. That's the thing that worries me, because even if it's slightly off center and it dries, that will forever annoy me on that club.
I found you get a little bit of wiggle room once it's on still with the grip. You can twist it ever so slightly. So it's not easy though, but we'll have to.
I'll give it a go this week, and then I will attempt to post a video for one of the clubs. See how it goes.
Oh, dear.
So what are we going to chat about this week? I'm keen. We've had 0 comms this week. It's been a very quiet week from all parties, really.
It was your birthday pod last week. Was it 29?
It was, yeah.
Big. That's quite close, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. It is. Yeah, look, thanks for not shouting out at all last week. So I felt pretty loved. But
we were quite drunk last week, weren't we? I was.
Yeah. I'll say so. You go for every week, actually. I kind of like it, but I think that's because you have a child. So like it's like very kind of like you get allowed to just kind of get a bit crazy with the guys for a couple of hours a week, and you grab it. Even though the fact we film this at 9 a.m, you start cracking the Berksies. But talking about getting old and feeling old, the moment I had that made me realize I perhaps wasn't as young as I once was when we had some interns at work, right? And they were talking to me about Khalid, and I was like, "Oh yeah, like DJ Khaled," and they were like, "Sorry," and I was like, "DJ Khaled." They were like, "No, Khalid." I was like, "They're the same person, aren't they?"
That's
DJ Khaled and Khalid are not the same person, and they found that so funny. And I said this moment, I was like, "Oh my god, like, I'm old. I'm not cool anymore."
That's mental. That is just mental. You say that.
It was.
Yeah, I was just gonna say on that Khaled, whatever. I don't know.
You knew.
I know DJ Khaled. Yeah, it is Khaled, isn't it? I had the same thing in Canada. We went to Canada to see some of Alex's extended family, and this young lad, Andrew, was like played the song Khaled and someone else in the car. And I was like, "Oh, DJ Khaled." And he was like, "No, Khaled." And I was like,
"We the best music." He's like, "That's not the same guy."
Literally just like sunk into a seat. He's like 7 years old. And I'm like, "Oh my God."
What is this?
Yeah.
So speaking of age, right, we'll have to dig it out. We all remember John Daly. Like, we all remember John Daly. He's like, love the guy. The kind of younger generation of golfer may not actually be so familiar with John Daly. I'll repost it. Hell of a video shared the other day. And it was him, I think it was him at Torrey Pines, and he hadn't won for 9 years. And he's in a playoff, and he hits this kind of sweet bunker shot, rolls downhill to a foot, wins the playoff. And in the post-match interview, it's just different gravy. The kind of the journalist like, "John, looks like you smoked maybe kind of like 7-8 cigarettes on the back nine there." And he's like, "To be honest, I thought it was a whole pack." Terrible John Daly accent. And then he goes, "I've got a mantra and I'm going to stick to it. Who needs fitness when you've got good equipment?" And I thought,
that's a tagline.
Yes, John Daly, that if in doubt, buy some more gear.
He's got a hell of a swing as well, hasn't he? He absolutely booms it.
His son's quite good as well.
Yeah, I need his son to be like copy and paste of John Daly, like bringing, even like the girls, the parties and like interviews John Daly would do it is like pool with like 10 women. He's like a Playboy Mansion. Mental, just down in beers on the course. Oh, we need it. We need it back in the PGA and the European Tour.
So actually, John Daly, I came up with a bit of a I guess it's not a game, but it's kind of it's basically build your ideal golfer. And I thought
Ooh, I
each
like
week
this.
we would just do one separate part of a golfer, and we'll over
See.
however many pods would end up with like the absolute don of a golfer.
The GOAT.
So this week should be quite short. I'm going to go fashion sense. So it's going to go all the way from fashion, all the way through to character, banter, all the way through to actual golf game. But this week we're going to go, if you're ideal golfer, fashion sense, who are you going for? Who are you calling out?
One came to mind quite quickly for me, actually. So I would go with Brooks Koepka. Largely.
What?
What?
What did you say? Brooks
Koepka?
It's Koepka.
we actually get shredded for some pronunciation.
Koepka?
Brooks
Cupcake.
Koepka. So I would go for Brookie K to his mates. And the reason I'd go for Brooks is because it's not massively known, I don't think, but he's actually quite the sneakerhead, which sounds a bit douchey, but what he does, he loves this kind of, brands like Off-White and others. So he always has these amazing like collaboration one-off I'm a bit of a shoe freak, like one-off golf shoes that are like night golf with Off-White, and you just think, oh, that's so cool. Or like he's got these really cool polos that have just got like the tiny wing foot on them and stuff. I just think it's kind of like quite understated, but actually seriously cool.
Wasn't
so
that recent drop from Nike that we ended up getting in on, that was quite a bit of his design, wasn't it? Because trying to bring trainers to sort of golf shoes.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
it. I'm so proud of my MX 97 golf shoes. I'll do an unboxing video of them. I'll put them back in the box and then open them again. But I'll say Brooks for me, and then I'll hand over to SL. You look like you're about to chip in.
Yeah, well, it's just a story about Brooks that someone told me once, and could be complete gospel. But about a couple of years ago, before he was winning majors, but he was still quite like unknown, if you see what I mean. It was kind of like people didn't really know what he looked like, where he was, especially when he took his hat off. No one really knew what he looked like. And there was a story where he was in the gym with DJ, quite good friends. And this guy came up to Brooks and was like, do you mind, would you take a picture of me and Dustin Johnson here? And he's like, yeah, okay, sure, like you don't want a picture of both of us. And he was like, this is a major champion here. And Brooks was like, I think it was like the week after he'd won a major, the story goes, and he was like, what the fuck is this? And that's when he did like the the topless shoots, and he started to like try and raise his profile, and was like getting really pissed off with people because they didn't know who he was, even though he was more successful.
I mean, is he cool? Like, I mean, he's got his tash. He kind of like blows up all the other players that take ages to play, which I kind of respect. He's a bit of a ladies' man, isn't he?
He shredded DJ for not winning any majors, didn't he? He said something. So,
yeah.
Obviously,
or only winning one major,
or something like that.
Yeah. I actually think this is probably a really unpopular opinion with Brooks, but I don't think he's that cool. I think he tries really hard to be cool.
He gets into the sort of meathead bracket, I think, of like almost like not quite Bryson DeChambeau, but he is in that meathead bracket.
Thing is, it's a fine line to tread. That's what I was kind of just going to chip in there with, like, being extremely cool, I would say, in the sporting world always requires that ever so slight air of arrogance. It's kind of like people that are bold enough to be like, I'm going to do this, and then they do it. Think about MJ, think about Tiger, think about Ronaldo. Like, they're all just a little bit like, I could be a douche. And so it's a very fine line to tread. And I agree with you, though. I think he's probably... He's recently, because he's not been winning as much, so it looks all a bit bitter and twisted, because he's just kind of looks like he's been a big I am but can't deliver on it, to be fair to you, SL.
Yeah, I also think that I just astute with the detail with Brooks for some reason, like I've got a vendetta against him. But whenever he's won tournaments, you know how like the girlfriend or like partner comes out and they run up and they're like, oh, well done, I love you. He's pretty like, go away. I've seen a couple of tournaments where he's won and his girlfriend, like Jennifer or someone like that. She's almost like comes running up, and he's like, no, only on the cheek, like and like brushes her off.
And I bet he never signs gloves for kids.
I know that seems ridiculous, but it's his fiance, and I don't know. I just get I get the opinion, and this is not fact. This is totally me dreaming up something. He's a complete ladies' man and doesn't want to be tied down to one woman.
He sounds like you.
Because Alex listens, and
we always finish at the 18th. We're like, right, pint. Alex comes on, tries to give you a kiss on the 18th green, and you're like, nah, not
because he's a snake. He's just three putts. He's actually got to buy rounds for the lads.
He's like, oh, we've got to go. Sorry, no, too much.
Still annoys me that for everyone listening, these idiots, how they always dream up something. Once said at a dinner with all the wags that I'd never buy a pint, which was completely fictitious at that point. They'll argue differently. Anyway, Alex, my wife, looked at me and was like, what do you mean? That's unacceptable. How can you not be buying pints? And I was like, they're joking. It's not true. It's not true. And then she has just got the gripe with me ever since then that I don't do my fair share at the golf club.
I think the proof is in the fact that when we join our club, we get £50 bar tab put onto our cards, and SL still to this day has still not topped that up. And me and SJ,
no nibble,
no
nibble,
topped up.
No nibble.
Look, I was never going to bring this up because there's no smoke without fire, and once these things get out there, they never come back. But it's totally true, and it's epitomised by the time we're all at lunch and we have slap-up meal, as big as it comes, pints, 3 courses, sticky toffee pudding for dessert. And then it's Sam's round, and out of nowhere, he just stands up and goes, sorry, guys, I've really got to go. Can you just pick this one up for me? Just leaves. Why has he got to go? He had to go to American Golf to try on some new golf trousers. That was the thing that was so urgent. So we're left there holding the tab, at which point, the ultimate faff and fiasco with the card machine in the golf club, which I was personally stung by, which made me quite bitter and twisted, all because you had to go and get a pair of golf trousers. True or not true?
No, that is true, but that's not me not paying, because did I pay for that?
No.
No, I'm not. I will. The thing is, right? No nibble. I will bring out the bank account.
You look like you're nibbling a lot.
No nibble, but let me just take a massive bite of that.
Yeah, it is true. But the thing is, and probably our mistake as a 3 is what we said is we'd alternate each week. So not just drinks, but we'd buy food. And that progressed pretty quickly into us having like, £15 breakfast between the 3 of us to suddenly it's like, a full buffet, 5 Guinnesses each at lunchtime. I think that day was like 50 quid or something ridiculous.
Sorry, and that day I had to top up my own card because I didn't have enough money left on it from the last time I bought the round. So not only did I get the round last time, I had to then re-top up, re-buy the round again. Oh, and would you believe it? Re-top up again because that round consumed the entire original top up.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal. Anyway.
SL, what fashion sense are you going for your ideal player?
Oh yeah.
Back to it.
Immediately to me was Tommy Fleetwood. I got a bit of a kickback from my Under Armour shout last week for style, and probably in hindsight, Under Armour and in my opinion make good tops. Trousers and shoes are pretty shocking, probably. So yeah, Tommy Fleetwood with his cardies and actually. Probably something similar to this.
Tommy's cool. Right. Ollie?
I actually quite... Adam Scott is quite an oily bloke.
What?
That's rogue. That's so niche. Scott.
I think he's quite like... He's like, it's not... He's not trying too hard.
He's an oily bloke. Sorry to talk over you. You just said he's an oily bloke.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah, like good-looking bloke, wears decent clothes, got a decent clobber. That's just I think he's quite a classic golfer. He's not trying too hard to go in with the lads, in with the cool guys. That's just my.
What brand is that? That's a it's a retail brand like Primark.
Not modern Adam Scott. I mean old school Adam Scott. I think it's Uniqlo, isn't it?
Uniqlo. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, there's so many things wrong with what's just been said.
Yeah, that is so rogue. That's just
Adam
unacceptable.
Scott, weird, and he's quite an oily bloke. Like if I ever heard somebody like, oh, that guy's so oily, I would never think that I want to dress like him.
That actually
I'd
might
be like,
be.
he's probably going to try and steal my wife.
That actually might be uni chat. I didn't realise you lads didn't understand the oily chat bloke.
So to all the people that thought you were the posh man ever, you've now
Oh my God.
that with some uni chat. So Adam Scott, controversial choice. But look, everyone's entitled to an opinion, and that's going to get some big reaction on the Insta channels. I'm sure of it.
I'd say certainly he tries very hard, which is I think it's quite cool.
I thought that you would have said someone that was a little bit more flair, because you like to wear your like stance socks, Ollie. You like a little bit of sort
of Bubba Watson style. No,
maybe I would have said maybe actually with Bubba with your ping.
No, maybe like Ricky Fowler.
Iron covers.
Yeah,
he's other notable mentions for me would have been Ricky Fowler, Poulter, Tiger, Sunday Red. He has literally created Sunday Red.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, Ricky Fowler's a great shout. Puma have stepped up their clothing game hugely over the last year. I'm still not a good shout now. I reckon they'll be like as popular, if not more.
I'm still not quite converted to Puma, but
I'm not either.
I might be in the future.
I'd actually like to hear from a pro about the time before they were a pro. Like, did they ever kind of just play weekend golf? And that's actually that you talked about the postman. That's kind of what I like about Pulse, that he used to be the pro at Dunstable Downs Golf Club, which is kind of in our local area, which is a nice club, but it's just very average, I would say. I just love the thought of like Ian Poulter selling chocolate bars to people before they're round. And like someone's like, literally, can I get 2 Boost bars and a Diet Coke, please? And he's like, yeah, there you go. And a green fee. Oh, and a ball marker. Oh, and can I have a free pencil? Next thing you know, he's there at the Ryder Cup, just slotting 90 footers to halve the Ryder Cup. Like it what a journey.
They've got hard graft pros, haven't they? Like imagine being pretty decent at golf. Like you're a scratch golfer and your job is a professional golfer, but effectively you're like a sales associate within Tesco, like a checkout assistant.
It's the one thing I think the main thing that made me realize that is when we turned up to the driving range SL when the driving range was flooded, and the poor pro out literally like waist high in like water, like wading through trying to like unplug all the balls from the flooded driving range. I thought, wow, you're probably sitting at a pretty decent handicap. You thought, oh, all I want to be is a pro golfer, and you're literally swimming in Bedfordshire Golf Club driving range, unplugging balls, trying to make sure the ball machine starts working.
And whilst talking about pros, I feel quite a lot of response on the social channels last week saying that you two are an absolute pair of plums for rather playing 18 holes on your own at Augusta than playing 9 holes with Tiger Woods.
We didn't get any content. We just total rubbish.
Huh?
Rubbish. That.
Right. I'll get it up for you and send it round.
Okay, fine. Not seen any of
with
that.
With VAT receipt as well. People are like, that's ridiculous.
I'm well up for Kevin Yar this week. Have you got any questions?
I was going to say, moving into the people's favourite, Kevin Nar or Kevin Yar. So we had a couple of requests this week. I'm going to try and see if I can bring them in. So Ali Graham across the pond, Canada.
Shout out Canada.
Electric golf trolleys.
So I was talking to him last night, right? And I'm going to take this opportunity to stitch him up when he's got no avenue of recourse. So he saw your post on Instagram, Ollie, and he thought that you'd gone and got an electric trolley.
Which
that
one?
Drove itself.
Which post?
You did a post of your tour bag and your trolley in the garage and said, I wish I could use these. He turned around and he said, Ollie gave me so much shit for having an electric golf trolley. And I was like, whoa. There's a distinction here. I was like, does your trolley come with a remote control? And he was like, yes, it does. And to which I replied, unacceptable. And he's like, no, it's not the one that follows you where you walk. I actually have to steer it myself. I was like, oh, sorry, you got to steer it yourself, mate, with your remote control. So golf trolleys that you have to push yourself in one form or another, yes. Golf trolleys with remote controls, GPS tracking, drone footage attached to them, Kevin Na.
Ali, I think Ali was quite keen on getting the drone footage. He was saying that the drone that follows him and the bag that follows him, just so he can record his 110 shot round, shanking and slicing all of them at OB right.
And he's getting shredded. He goes, no. The thing is, we actually got them. We got them from like a really good. We got them from a really good outlet. That wasn't too bad at all. I was like, how much was your trolley? He's like, it was $1,000. How much is 1,000 Canadian dollars? He's like, 700 quid. I was like, it's worth more than my whole bag.
Crazy. I'm pretty solidly in the Kevin Na camp for electric golf trolleys.
I think the company's called Stewart Golf, isn't it? Who are the ones that make the electric golf trolleys? That are
ones
like,
that follow you. You put
the
you
ones
clip
that
it
follow
to
you.
your
They're
belt.
like 1,200 quid. I think it's Stewart Golf. So look, we're all Kevin Na. However, if Stewart Golf are listening and they want to convert the Lazy Lobbers, then
Well, you two are Kevin Na.
SL's a Kevin Na.
Yeah, I love electric golf trolleys. Yeah. The reason I like electric golf trolleys is because I get so tired pushing. Again, age. I'm so old. I get really tired pushing up trolleys, and carry bag in the winter hugely affects my golf game.
I've quite enjoyed carry bag this winter. Actually, I've not often done every week carrying, but I've actually quite enjoyed it. Not having the trolley.
I'm on the website now. The Stewart Golf X9 Follow retailing at $2,499.
Wow.
Ay caramba.
Within 1 month, Ali Graham will have that shipped over to Canada.
This is the quote on the website from Golf Monthly. There aren't many products that will turn heads quicker on the course than the Stewart Golf X9 Follow. Yeah, sure as hell it's going to turn heads when when my trolley drives me to the first tee, auto selects my club, and then lets me shank it. And then automatically, imagine that the trolley just starts driving off to your shanked ball before you do.
I knew SL would be a Kevin Na, but you haven't used it obviously because of the winter. So I was interested to see what your thoughts were. But obviously,
it's not. It's not because of winter. It broke. Do you not remember that round where it snapped in half?
Oh yeah. Oh, I do remember
you
nursing your snapped power caddy down the 18th is still one of my favourite memories.
Yeah.
Awful. I was having to carry it whilst it was moving forward, so I was like holding it, like a baby. It was awful.
Okay, we've got a few more. A bit more on some stash. Brightly coloured golf balls.
Who's this from?
No, this is just a Kevin Na.
Oh, right.
So like bright yellow, bright pink, bright orange.
I'll take this one first. It's a Kevin Na for me, and it's not because they're loud, and it's not because of anything else. When I put a brightly coloured ball down, I cannot hit it. I get so my attention goes to the ball, and I'm like, wow, this ball is so bright.
It's like a 6-year-old.
Yeah. And I chunk it.
I'm Kevin Na, and I just think we got to shout out the guy. I actually never kind of met him by name at the golf club that drives a kind of quite old Maserati, but Maserati nonetheless. Always wears shorts.
It's a left-hand drive Maserati.
Left-hand drive Maserati, and he plays with a bright yellow football print Callaway Chrome Soft.
And he's got plasters on every joint of his finger.
Love it
as well. So he's like bang, bang, bang.
He needs to become a lazy lobber because he's everything that I love about the game.
I do agree.
He's always got his golfer's elbow forearm strap on as well.
I love
just take a week off.
Just stop playing. Do you know what?
Just have a week off. He's like, no.
If you've got that much tape, just stop.
He's actually got a splint on his leg as well. He's a splint. All his fingers are taped up, and he's got his tennis elbow strap on, and he's still playing with his football colours.
He's got the ankle high golf shoes just for extra ankle support.
Whoever's responsible for the black leather high top Stuber hiking boot golf shoe collab, just get in contact with us because I want to know what you're thinking. The moment that everyone's in the design studio at Stuber and the designers come in, they go, right, thanks for coming along to the meeting today. Agenda item number 1, the high top leather golf shoe. Here's the design. They put it on the PowerPoint slide and everyone goes, I love it. Production starts tomorrow.
It's
like the prop rugby boot.
I actually was going to bring it up in Kevin Na or Kevin Yar, but I thought there's no point. There's just no point. But maybe it would have actually been quite a good discussion.
Oh,
the Gilbert high tops that go up to your knee.
The Gilberts, yeah.
It looks like a pair of Rockports ran in some golf shoes, and that's the outport.
My mum took me to get rugby boots once, and she was like, "What about these?" And it was those Gilbert high tops. I was like, "Mum, I'm a fly half with my ankle locked into the boot. How am I supposed to kick a ball?"
But what course are you playing that you ever need high top golf shoes? Like,
it's so true, isn't it? So true. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Okay, for the record, I'm a Kevin Na for brightly coloured golf balls. Kind of similar to SL, but also I just really like the sort of white ball. I just think it's just much more chic, personally.
Yeah, I should say that brightly coloured golf ball is different to a red, black, and blue Callaway football for me.
Yeah,
they are distinct.
And I guess you're distinguishing between the TaylorMade TP5X picks, which we all love.
Yeah.
It's just a ball, isn't it? Again, a shout out for now. I think they're going to overtake Pro V1s. A Pro V1 Titleist, they're not diversifying their ball enough.
I was going to say they've brought the new one out recently, haven't they? It literally is the same, but the line for Pro V1 is hollow.
You know, even if they did like special edition versions, or they need to jazz it up a little bit. Otherwise, TP5, like performance for the average golfer, is just as good, if not for me, slightly better.
I think we like the Vice balls though. Like when they did those kind of pastel coloured Vice balls, I think they were very, very cool. Anyway, Sam, your favourite balls are Kirkland, so
that's
true. I've been putting with them all week. Yeah, just as good as a Pro V1.
To be honest, if you're going to just get one putt on your perfect practice putting mat, then play with a top flight. As far as it goes, isn't it?
Okay, we've got one more Kevin Yar for this week. Is rangefinders. What do we think about the rangefinder?
And is this, is this a really like different topic for all? Because again, happy to be proved wrong. Rangefinders are decent, are they not? Are you going to tell me differently?
So I'm going to put it this way. So my take on it, clear's throat, is that range finding one's range, that's very much Kevin Yar. Like, I love to know how many yards I have to go to the flag, and I hate it when I get the wrong club, hit a lovely shot, and it just flies out the back of the green. But I think the way that you need to find your range is through a watch or a mobile phone app. The people that take out the Bushnell, they're pointing it at the flag, they're pointing it at the tree.
The suede cover.
Yeah, I mean, I find them quite difficult to use. And I think implicitly, when you've got the Bushnell out, it implies that you want to get really creative with your ranges. And I think actually they were invented in a time before you had really good mobile apps. Because the thing is, you had your yardage book that's like, it's this far off the tee. You'd have your 150, but it was to the people that wanted to be like, oh, it's 236 to the dog leg, 249 to the front bunker, 24 whatever to the back bunker. And it's just a bit try hard, isn't it?
So I'm gonna back it up and say I'm Kevin Na for it as well. So
this is controversial. Oh
yeah, I just think.
Christ, okay.
I just think.
Have you used one?
Yeah. I mean, basically, it was between a Bushnell or this, and I don't know why I went for the watch in the end, because I would prefer a rangefinder. And
thanks to the birthday present everyone that got me that, but I'd rather have had a rangefinder
that you can use not once during lockdown.
Actually, I know why I went for the watch was because of the like distances and scoring. That's probably like the distances to the drive, your drive and what yardages you've got there. But for sure, I mean, I would use both, to be honest. I don't think it's that much of a...
Do not play with me if you're going to use a range finding watch and a range finder. I don't want to play
the reason I do think they're good, and you can both agree with this for sure, is when I had my Apple Watch and hole 19 was on the Apple Watch, the yardages were shocking. Shout out to OP on the 13th par 3. Oh, I've got 140 yards. hits a 9-iron, comes up 50 yards short. Yeah, because it's 190 yard par 3. And he was like, "Oh, my watch says," and it's like that for me. It's the confidence, isn't it? It's the accuracy, and to go right. It's 190 yards, and just it's 100. It is 190.
I think there's one other key thing, right, that should be mentioned when we talk about finding one's range. Again, it implies that I've got the ability to determine how far I want the ball to go within a couple of yard accuracy. So ultimately, if the green is 183, I'm just hitting it like it's 180 and hopefully it lands in the general vicinity. I am not looking and saying, oh, front's 186, back's 193, better go up a club. Not doing that.
Again, I'm happy to be proven wrong here, but I don't believe anyone that owns a Bushnell is doing that. I think they're doing it because the watches are so inaccurate. They're awful. Like you sit there, even this Garmin, like at the best of times, it's brilliant, but at the worst of times, it's like 15 yards out. So
who got you this birthday present? Because it's Alex. Absolute battering.
Alex got
it. It's good. I and actually, arguably, I'd go for the Garmin. I guess why I'm so passionate about this is because I cannot believe you two disagree with the.
Yeah, I think
like so against
the rangefinder for me. Also, what's the Bushnell cost? What, 250, 300 quid?
They're about the same as this watch. Yeah.
And the watch does a hell of a lot more than just find your golf range. So the Bushnell is very much something that you use it on a Sunday and you use it. But whereas you get a Garmin watch, you can do, you've got copious amount of things that you can do rather than just find the range. Whereas I think I find if you're standing on a rangefinder, using a rangefinder, waiting for someone to take a shot, for me, I'm going to use the word, I actually think it's a bit nausy.
Just put the word out of my mouth. What's forming is over the last couple of pods, I've just got this vision of SL playing Augusta on his own with a Kirkland white golf ball and a rangefinder. Meanwhile, I'm at the Bedfordshire teeing up with Tiger and our Hole 19 app with a yellow Chrome Soft going down. And I know which sounds more fun.
I'm kind of doing both because I sit on the fence apart from with the Bushnell.
Yeah, but that's the story of the Lazy Lobbers. You've been Switzerland.
I actually realised that the reason why SL didn't want to play with Tiger is because he would have to buy a beer at the end of the round as
well. It's not worth it. I think I've had this for about a year and a half, and I'm not going to say I'm at my wit's end, but I'm not far off.
In the Lazy Lobbers, in the Lazy Lobbers, you've got to admit we are a democracy. So rangefinders are Kevin Nahr for the Lazy Lobbers.
Kevin Nahr.
Do we want to move on to some Insta questions?
Always. I love Insta questions.
I know you do. Okay, so this week we actually went slightly different tack. We want to try and make sure that we actually utilised a lot of the questions that have come in over the last couple of weeks that we haven't managed to get round to. Okay, so this is from ACC Miller. What is the favourite course you've ever played?
Oh, good question.
I think ACC Miller has delivered an absolute storm of a question there. I'm going to come out the traps and I'm going to say that the favourite course that I've ever played is the Mark West at Woburn.
Oh,
nice. I would like.
It's not the only. Sorry, it's not the only reason why, but it is worth mentioning that it has Guinness and Estrella, my two favourite beverages other than Birksey, on tap at the halfway house.
Wow, that's good, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, you can't get much better than that. I'm going to go for, with the whole experience, really enjoyed playing Marbella Club with SJ.
Do you know what?
Oh, it's
a close second.
I'm sorry, SL. But the whole story with the fact that we had a bit of a boozy one the night before, we had a 9 o'clock tee off in one of the most prestigious golf courses in Spain. And our ETA time was basically 2 minutes before the tee off. And we arrived at Marbella Club Hotel 2 minutes before tee off to find out the concierge at the front says you're about 40 minutes away from the actual Marbella Club golf course. It's actually up the mountain.
And to which I'd hired I'd gone for a pretty budget hire car, and then when, as everyone knows, 6 or 7, got to the hire car desk, and the guy was like, "Oh, in Spanish, won't do the accent." He was like, "I'll give you a hire car, higher, so you more space." It was a Fiat 500 XL, 1.0 litre engine. So Ollie and I are there trying to rag this Fiat 500 XL up the mountains to try and get to the golf course.
The other thing was that there was a sort of a slight need for both of us to need to go to the loo after a night out, and there was a lot of stress going on in that car trying to get.
Deary me.
But
imagine if I'd been invited. That'd have been amazing. Thanks.
Yeah,
guys.
sorry you couldn't come. But yeah, on top of that, course was unbelievable. Houses.
Did you make it then? What was the? So
so basically we arrived. Oh no, I think we called up, didn't we? And they'd literally, because it was it August we were out there. It's low season, hardly anyone was playing. They're like, yeah, they've got loads of tee times. So
Hola, señora.
we went out. I think we went out.
Lo siento más tarde. Muchas veces gracias.
I think we went out.
Anyway, what's going to make up for it? We're going to do a huge trip this year, aren't we?
True.
Yeah.
SLS, favorite course.
Favorite course, as ACC Miller will know, is Glen Eagles for me. The PGA Centenary course is, you feel like you've walked a marathon, but I don't know if there's anything much better than walking the same course that the greats have walked. And duffing your 60-degree wedges from 50 yards out. No better feeling.
I've actually played winged foot.
Have you?
Yeah, I have.
I didn't know
I
that.
was sort of like 14. Went out. Was it? Oh, okay. Okay, it's like that, is it? All right. So I've played winged foot, and the story was very kind of young, pretty average. Didn't really kind of appreciate it in its fullest. But I just remember that we had you have to have a caddy at Wingfoot. I've told you this a lot of times before, but it's kind of an interesting soundbite. So you have to have a caddy, but the caddy carries 2 tour bags. And we were chatting to the caddy, and I was like, how on earth are you carrying 2 tour bags around 18 holes? He was like, to be honest, I do a minimum of 36 holes a day. Sometimes I might even do another 9 as well. So imagine carrying in like the pretty hot sort of summer sun, 2 tour bags for 36 holes every day. That's remarkable. Anyway, there you go.
One course I might actually say is for Pingo Ridge in Kenya as well.
Oh yeah,
you've played it.
So Alex's family. So her dad's from Kenya. They'd have to go out there one time. It's just amazing.
That does sound ridiculous. Okay, we have one from self-proclaimed number 1 fan, Ollie Sanderson, otherwise known as OS. 3 dream golf dinner guests, dead or alive, not Tiger Woods.
What a question.
So yeah, I can start off with mine because I've probably had a bit more time to think about it. So I actually played his course in Andalusia in Spain, Sevi Ballesteros. Just be quite interesting just to hear the stories and go for someone obviously not here anymore. So it'd be quite interesting just to hear about that pre my lifetime. I actually then had a bit of an argument with myself over the next 2. So I don't want to steal everyone's other sort of choices, but I'm going to go for Tommy Fleetwood to get the young sort of bants into the dinner table, and then also going to go for Jimenez just to bring like some real chat to the table. And I think that those 3 combined with my very average chat.
It's a really, really good question. And I'm trying to not just pick all the obvious ones. I think it would be, I would genuinely have gone with Sevi as well myself. I think just to kind of hear about it. I mean, 2 schools of thought. One is like, do you just take a bunch of guys that are clearly mates on and off the course already and just it'd be really, really casual? Or do you go for the absolute legends and you're like, yeah, I want Palmer, Nicholas and Sevi. I will go for Poulter, Sevi, And weirdly, I'm a bit annoyed you've taken Angel Jimenez off me. But I referenced him earlier. Maybe just get John Daly in there. He'll just be hitting the shots up. He'll just be cranking the fun. So you've got Paul.
He brings the rippers, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's turning up empty-handed.
That's it.
Empty-handed.
Okay, SL.
Yeah, John Daly, number 1.
Yeah.
That party is non-stop. It's your night of your life. Number 2, DJ.
Interesting.
I don't know why, but I would just have him there because I feel. Actually, would I have him there?
I like DJ, but I feel like he's very professional, isn't he? And he's got like a very dry humor, which actually might be quite funny. But yeah,
I was just going to say maybe with his previous addiction, that wasn't the smartest of calls. So retract.
What was he addicted to?
You know this.
I don't know.
I don't.
What?
Sinking putts, winning majors.
DJ had the biggest coke addiction on tour.
Did he?
Did he? On
No,
tour? Like, what?
this
Like,
your
they're
nibble.
all on it.
No,
No nibble.
I didn't know.
No nibble. What like?
Oh
Is
my
there a big
God.
coke scene on the PJ Tour? Is there?
No, DJ was like checked into rehab. He was coked up playing golf, winning
No way.
tournaments. Oh my God. I can't tell if this is a nibble.
Maybe I've been living under a rock. No, genuinely didn't
Me
know.
too.
Well, he's playing. That's the thing. Is this whole scandal is that he was on coke for a long time. Like
You like to
full
add a bit of
addiction.
topspin to stories. Are you adding topspin to this story?
Was there?
You see,
was there-
I can't tell if you two are joking with me.
I promise you, I did not know that DJ had a big coke addiction.
Well, on the Lazy Lobbers, I didn't know that he had a coke addiction. When you said addiction, I didn't really know what you meant.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he did, and he was checked into rehab, and then he's now back on tour.
So you
But
want
imagine
Daly,
Ronaldo.
DJ, and who else?
Yeah.
Yeah, and who?
I think you've got to have Tiger there because I feel like
Are you joking? What's going on? That was the specific clause of the question. Who are your 3 favorite
Tiger
golfers? Not included.
I'm so sorry. That's the part that I didn't hear. So okay, my mistake. A bit on a whim here. So yeah, John Daly, Rory McIlroy, and Nicholas wouldn't be there because although he's like the best golfer, he tells far too many stories that I've heard over and over again.
Butch Harmon.
Oh, he's a good one, isn't he? I think Palmer.
Cool.
Nice. I would have loved it so much if someone just went straight back and went Molinari brothers plus Martin Keimer.
Okay, well that ends the Insta questions for this week. Next week we will actually answer an Instagram poll to make sure that we get some brand new content in from the listeners. So yeah, thank you very much for sending in your questions.
And actually, that probably is the end of the whole podcast, isn't it? So yeah, also for me, thanks everyone for tuning in for season 1, episode 3, take 1 of Confessions of an Average Golfer by the Lazy Lobbers. We'll be back filming next week, so stay tuned.
Cheers, guys.
Ciao.
Bye.
Who says ciao at the end?
Ciao, Bella.
My dad does that.